I'm going to go in Civic Park at Walnut Creek downtown and try to discover new things. I think that Walnut Creek got its name from this creek, which is just to my left and to my right. Here is the starting point of Iron Horse Trail, actually about 0.2 miles from here. And the creek, as you can see below, let me go and take a look at this information board. Yes, it says watershed connections. Walnut Creek is formed by the confluence of San Ramon and the Las Trampas creeks. Most of the water originates in the headwaters on the western slopes of Mount Diablo and on Las Trampas Ridge. The creek flows through the city, collecting water from parks, open space, streets, and even the yards of local residents. It flows north into the Sison Bay, which runs into San Francisco Bay and eventually to the ocean. To give you an idea about where we are, yes, we are right now here, and to our north is Sison Bay. On the other side is the north east Sacramento River. To our south, Walnut Creek watershed. To our east, San Pablo Bay, San Francisco Bay, and the Pacific Ocean. I am still in the park, and as you can see, the creek down below, and on the other side there is a road, and you can see the cars driving past. Now let's take another look at the park and go to this informative board. Human impacts on the creek. Walnut Creek was once natural, meandering and teeming with fish and wildlife. Over time, humans degraded it through overuse, industrial activity, and channelizing. Now, individuals and community groups are striving to restore sections of the waterway to a more natural state, while at the same time protecting the city from flooding. These advocates are also working to make the creek safe and accessible for people to use and enjoy. Each of us can get involved in protecting the quality of water and creek life. Here is the picture of Southern Pacific Railway crisscrosses creek in 1909. Creek channelized in 1960s. And here is the Mayor Granzato at freeway opening in 1960. Arondo removal for habitat restoration in 2008. Lifestyle here in Northern California is much different to the lifestyle in Southern California. Here you can see a group of people in the park exercising, and I try to get closer to show you that what they are doing is very relaxing. They are not doing hard exercises, very relaxed. Well, I want to show you this board here, and it is very informative. Layers of history by the creek. For thousands of years, this creek has been a vital and changing part of human community life. Bay Miwok Indians once harvested acorns and seeds from grasses and riparian plants. European settlers planted fruit and walnut orchards in the fertile flatlands. As the city grew, periodic flooding destroyed property and structures. In the 1960s, engineers created concrete channels to contain the floodwaters. Now advocates are working to restore the riparian ecosystem so that Walnut Creek will once again be a place to experience clean air, moving water, native plants, and wildlife. Here is a picture of Walnut Creek in the 1900s. And Bay Miwok are earliest residents. You can see the Indians here shooting arrows at the geese. This is the downtown built up in 1900. A fruit box label from the 1920s from Valley Farm. Walnut Creek floods in 1958, and volunteers clean up creek 2008. The information here is very useful, and I'm going to read it for you. Healthy Creek. Walnut Creek is a hidden treasure in the city. Its waters are precious and essential for life. Healthy riparian zones with native trees and plants and a free-flowing stream provide habitat for birds, mammals, frogs, and fishes. A healthy creek attracts people too. In the past, human impacts on the creek, including development and creek channeling, degraded it. A master plan adopted in 1993 called for extensive habitat restoration to re-establish wildlife-friendly native plants. It extends the riparian zone by planting trees beyond the creek banks to attract birds, butterflies, and other wildlife. Here you can see a monarch butterfly, barn owl, gray fox, western pond turtle, and Pacific tree frog. Yes, I find it very interesting, just in the middle of a town, and so beautiful, so beautiful. Again, I adore these people over there exercising, because you just don't see people exercising in a park like this in Southern California. The atmosphere is much different. I believe that people here are perhaps more friendly, and the culture is different too. Right now, I am standing in the middle of a park close to Walnut Creek, downtown. It's a very beautiful park, and you can find beautiful plants and diverse type of animals here. Perhaps I can show you. It says life in the intersections. Walnut Creek is a ribbon of undeveloped nature in an urban environment. Within this swath of the natural world, land and water habitats are joined together in a transitional or blended community called an ecoton. An ecoton hosts vegetation and creatures who live in the distinctive habitats, as well as those who thrive in a blended environment. Plants and animals from both terrestrial and aquatic habitats can be found in the Ecoton Creek environment. This edge community contains a wide range of ecological niches and hence supports a diverse range of life. You can see a picture of belted kingfisher, California king snake, arboreal salamander, raccoon, and snowy egret. Of course, walking on this trail here, I have seen turkeys, I've seen squirrels, and many other birds and animals. The name of this trail is Iron Horse Trail. It is about maybe 16-17 miles long. From where I live, I can walk, I can take this trail and go towards Concord, or come the opposite way towards downtown Walnut Creek. Okay, here I'm reading protecting our native plants. Walk in this garden and notice the smells, textures, colors, and sounds. This demonstration garden shows the kinds of plants that you can grow at home or at your workplace to save water and keep maintenance low. These complementary plants will also provide habitat for beneficial insects and creatures, like the tiger salamander that lives under logs. Take note of their names and buy them at your local plant nursery. This is a picture of a tiger salamander. Native plants belong here and have adapted to this climate and landscape. So they use much less water and don't need toxic pesticides. Protect water quality in your neighborhood by using native plants in your yard. Native oaks support one of the most biologically diverse habitats in California. They support local plants and animals that thrive here by supplying food and shelter. Uh, our settlement has impacted these trees and their habitats, but we can bring them back by replanting them. Okay, here you can see pictures of island alum root, oak leaves and acorns. And again, this is a park, and right now I am going to continue my walk on Iron Horse Trail back towards my house near the BART station. Walking around Walnut Creek neighborhood, we can learn many interesting fun stuff. Here is another thing about little things around the world. Native bees and other pollinators are shy. You may never see them in your garden unless you look carefully. 80% of the world's crop species and most native plants rely on insects and other animals for pollination. However, biologists fear several butterfly and bee species have disappeared from parts of their range because of habitat loss. Introduced diseases such as sudden oak death syndrome, pollution, and pesticide poisoning. How can you help pollinators? Grow native plants in your garden since they are adapted to local climate and soils. Avoid using pesticides if at all possible. If you want butterflies, you need caterpillars and the leaves that go with them. Plant a variety of flowers to bloom continually from early spring to early fall. Help pollinators find the plants they need by planting them in large clumps rather than singly. Plant a variety of flower shapes and colors since different pollinators are attracted to different types of flowers. Choose a sunny spot. To my left, you can see a picture of honeybee on a Rudbeckia perea, and on my right you can see a picture of Buckeye butterfly on Artabutus. We are going to learn a little bit more about the cycle of life in Walnut Creek. The creek corridor unites animals, plants, and humans in the chain of life. Wildlife needs the riparian environment for water, food, shelter, and reproduction. Trees and vegetation shade the stream, cooling the water and providing decaying leaves to support diverse insect life. Fish and aquatic amphibians feast on these insects. Birds and mammals prey on the fish and frogs as they live or travel through the land beside the creek. This wild open space also offers people a peaceful respite from urban life. Okay, here you can see a picture of opossum. And down here, dragonfly. And western fence lizard. Over here, black phoebe, and three-spine stickleback. And here is the great blue heron. Here at the park, you can see these squirrels. They are very shy animals, and they're all over the place actually. And down there is this beautiful creek, and perhaps we can look at the birds feeding on. Yeah. These squirrels are running up and down the trees and looking for food. There is another one there. Today I'm going to discover the Walnut Creek downtown and show you how it looks like, and you can tell me if it is European style or if it is more of American style. Over there is Locust Street, commercial banks here, bars, restaurants, and I am standing at the intersection of Civic Drive and North Main Street. So let's walk a little bit and see if we find anything interesting here. Very peaceful place. People are relaxing. Right now it's about 10:30 in the morning, and most people are at work. That is why it is not so crowded. Right now I'm still in downtown Walnut Creek at the corner of Mount Diablo Boulevard and the main street. You can see many shops here, very high quality ones such as Tiffany, and on the other side Neiman Marcus. It's a very cute little town, and I'm very happy to be here. I am still in downtown Walnut Creek. Over there you can see Ross. standing at the intersection of Bottle Hole Drive, and there is roadside takeout, and I think I will walk back home, walking through the main street, and try to show you a little bit more of the ambience and how it feels walking through the streets of downtown. Again, it's very peaceful, very clean, very quiet. Okay, here is Crate and Barrel. I have arrived at the intersection of Olympic Boulevard and Main Street. On one side, you can see the Anthropology and Company store, and on the other side, on this side, oh, there is Sephora. They have Sephora here too. And the Apple store. Very nice. Very nice one too. Big and busy. Okay. Unlike Southern California, we don't see many franchise stores or any fast food places, which I find very original. It gives me a different kind of feeling. It can be anywhere but any typical U.S. downtown. Again, you can judge for yourself.